Well, thank you all for being here. Kendra and I are only going to keep you for 30 minutes, so we're going to be talking fast. We just ask that you listen fast, and we'll walk you through the beginnings of Jamboard. So I am the digital learning facilitator that primarily serves the Inca district.
And I'm Kendra. I'm the digital learning facilitator that serves the Robertson district. And in the chat, I just put the bit.ly so that you can access this presentation whenever you like.
And so just very quickly, is there anybody that's having any sound or video issues? You can put it in the chat or you can wave at us or whatever. Okay. We are recording, so just so that you know, this is being recorded. You're welcome to turn your camera off if you do not want to be in the recording, and we will give you a link for my learning plan at the end. So first of all, what is Jamboard? And we're going to talk just very briefly about what it is because you're going to actually get to see it. So as we get started, I want you to go up to the 3 dots at the top right of your Zoom picture and click rename. And I'd like for you to rename yourself with a 1 in front of your name if Jamboard is completely new to you. Put a 2 in front of your name if you've heard of it but you haven't used it before, and a 3 if you have actually used it in class. So we're going to take just a quick second to do that.
You'll need to be in gallery view in order to see yourself. Oh, so we have some 3s and 2s
Ooh.
and 1s, so we have a variety.
All right, we sure do. So very quickly, Loretta or Emily, would either of you like to chime in and just tell us how you've used it in class real quick?
I actually used it for the first time today, as a matter of fact, in one of our math lessons. And
Okay.
I used it in the form of an exit ticket. So I allowed my students to drop a sticky note onto the Jamboard. And it reminds me of Padlet quite a bit, but they just summed up their learning from our math lesson today. And that was a quick check-in for me to see who's got it and who do I need to target tomorrow.
What would you say about the ease of use?
I think it's very student-friendly and teacher-friendly because I have a large ESL population in my class, and I feel like the visuals are very, very helpful.
What grade level are you, Emily?
I'm 3rd grade.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. Loretta, how have you used it in class?
In the spring when we were virtual, I did a history lab where kids had to kind of explore documents about the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire, and then we did a discussion about it, and then as they left they had to use a particular color, and I'd have to go back and look to see which was which, but they had to put their name on the sticky that was, and then put it under the list of who they thought was guilty, who should be charged for the girls, the women's deaths.
Oh, wow. And what grade do you teach?
8th.
Wow. So 2 extremely different uses of it. But just as Emily said, I would also liken it to Padlet. And so this is like a Padlet, but it's already within our G Suite of apps, which makes it just really easy to use, easy for you to be able to share. And so we're going to actually take just a moment and let you jump into a Padlet and just see what you can figure out about it. So Kendra is going to post a link for the Padlet in our chat.
The Jamboard.
I'm sorry. Yes, she's posting a link for our Jamboard, not for Padlet. And what we'd like for you to do is just jump in, and we're going to take about 2 minutes for you to explore and see what you can do within this Jamboard. And so take it away. And you will actually have to click on the link that she's putting into the chat. So chat is formatted to where you can't actually copy a link anymore. You have to actually click onto it to open it, and then you can save a link from there.
I put it in twice because the first time it butted up against the presentation link, so hopefully you see that. So I know Loretta's in, And Emily's in. Awesome.
Ah,
Now, Catherine, are you signed into your Gmail?
No, I'm with my
Okay.
school email. Or am I supposed to be signed in with Gmail?
No, you're signed in with your school email though?
Yes.
Okay. We're seeing,
interesting.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Jesse,
Yeah, where most of them have pictures, names, you're an anonymous camel.
yeah.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
No, 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 no. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just an observation. Okay, so 4 of you have tried, or 5 of you have tried. Oh, there we go. There's something different. Isn't that adorable?
Oh my goodness, I can't stand it.
Okay, so what you see that everybody has tried are the sticky notes, and we see a picture. Ah, now we have somebody using the text. Good. Has anybody tried writing? Ah, shape tool. Very good. Okay, I'm going to move that out of the way. So tell me just real quickly, you can unmute yourself and tell me what you think about it so far.
It's really easy to use. It's fairly intuitive for an adult, and I think can be taught really easily. I teach third grade, so my kids could pick up on this,
Very
especially
good.
if they're going to be face to face in just a couple days.
I know, right? Okay, good. Any other thoughts? Okay, let's jump right into where is Jamboard. And you can see from the picture that I have here, in your 9-dot Google menu, when you click on that menu and you scroll down, you may even have to get into the more applications, but there's Jamboard. And as you click on Jamboard, it's going to, let me go to the next slide. You're going to see in there an orange circle with the plus icon, and that's how you would actually start a new jam, by clicking that, and it's going to open one for you. Within that, and these are the options that you just saw a moment ago, you have options to write, erase, you have the cursor so that if you need to grab something within the jam, you can do that. You have sticky notes, and I think almost everybody found those, and you know those are multiple colors. And somebody, I believe it was Loretta a moment ago, mentioned having them be a certain color according to what they already knew, or being able to sort according to a knowledge base. That can be helpful. You can add images. Somebody found the circle shape a moment ago. I did see that, the text box, and then the laser. And the laser is really handy because you can actually mark up your jam as you're explaining it to students without actually making marks on it. So it makes kind of a disappearing trace mark that disappears as you continue to go. So a lot of options that you have within there. And if students all have the ability to edit, then they're able to use all of these tools as well, which is great. Sharing is also very simple. So to share, it's going to be like a Google Doc or like Google Slides or something like that. When you click that share option, you're going to pick the domain anyone, because when we pick our domain, we know our students are k12bcs.org, which is a different domain than we are. So you want to click that anyone with the link is able to edit or able to see or able to whatever it is that you're trying for your students to do. And then you'll use that link as you prepare for those students. Kendra, anything you want to throw in here?
Yes. Just very quickly, I don't know if you noticed it, but there are different backgrounds that you can choose. So I know that my daughter, her math teacher uses, there's some dot backgrounds and there's some paper like writing backgrounds. So just explore those backgrounds because there might be one that matches the type of lesson that you're doing.
Yes, and so just to kind of illustrate what Kendra's talking about, this one is the dotted background. Right here, the background option will allow you to do squares, or if you need a lined background, whatever you need. So you've got quite a few options. Thanks for pointing that out, Kendra.
Yeah.
All right. So several notes that you want to be sure to be aware of. Also, when you're in the Jamboard, at the top right, beside that share button, there's the 3-dot menu. And so that is where you can go to rename it. If you're through with the Jam and you want to save it to share out to your class, maybe you've collaborated as a class and you've got notes for a writing project, you can download it as a PDF so the students can see it but then not edit it. You can save it as an image. And then you can also delete it here or make a copy. If you've got one that you use over and over again, make a copy of it, rename it, and then you've got one that's ready to go. And Kendra's going to get into that a little more in just a moment. So some ideas on how to use it. Obviously, it could be used for individual brainstorming for your students, for collaborative purposes. And if it's collaborative, then whoever has access to it is able then to edit. You could use it for note taking, and again, that could be collaborative or individual. You could use it as a presentation yourself as the teacher, and it can be a manipulative presentation then that you're able to share, be able to move it around and annotate over as you're working with your class. And then you can also use it just for sharing information to students. So there's a lot of different ways, and I know that y'all are going to think of a million more ways that it can be used in your particular classroom. These are some notes that we just wanted to make sure that you saw. There are multiple pages available. So when you have a Jam, it's not just a single page. You can add on additional pages so that you can make it multiple pages. You can't lock the backgrounds or the pictures. And so that was one thing when we were talking about this that Kendra wanted to make sure that you knew, is that if you do make that background the dots or the lines, if you give students editing rights, they can actually change that. So you might not want to tell them that they can do that.
And a lot of elementary teachers will put like tables in there to make words and things, and kids can move that. And they've emailed me several times saying, how can I lock this? And you just can't. So hopefully that'll be a feature that they add.
And then you do have a limited number of participants on a Jam at a time. I'm hoping that none of you have 50 students at one time. So if you have 50 students at one time, I'm sorry, but I think you're going to be good to go with that one.
All right, so you can use the Jam like we've practiced. You can use it a blank Jam, but there are templates out there that are free for you to use, and these are just a few. So the thumbs up, thumbs down template, we all know that one. We've done that one in class. That would be a great one for kids to grab a sticky and move their name to either the thumbs up if they get the concept, or thumbs down if they need additional support. The next one is 3 things. So that's a great exit ticket. So kids can use stickies or they can write the 3 big ideas that they gain from your lesson that day. The next one is graffiti wall. There are a million ways to use that. I saw someone use it as Motivational Monday, where everyone shared a positive quote for the week, which I thought was a great SEL activity. The next one is stop and sketch. So this one, you would assign a student a number, and that is where they could add a sticky or an image that relates to the content. And then the last one on here is 4 corners, just like we do in the classroom. Kids can take a sticky with their name on it and they can move it to A, B, C, or D. So these are some pre-made templates. And if you click on them, once you get this presentation, it'll make a copy for you. So they're ready to go for you to use. Any questions about the templates? Okay, cool. All right, are any of you using Seesaw? Okay, good. Then I guess we can skip that one then.
Okay,
So
we do have a video for that if anybody should happen to need that.
yeah, so if you have a colleague that looks, that is looking on how to use that, then this will walk them through those steps.
Well, the next thing is Jamboard in Google Classroom. Does anybody use Google Classroom? So we have some Google Classroom users. So Google Classroom, using Jamboard in Google Classroom is just as easy as sharing a doc or sharing a slide presentation in your Google Classroom. So what I would do is in Jamboard, I would go to my settings and be sure that it is anyone on the internet with this link can edit or can view, depending upon what I'm wanting the students to do. I would copy that link. And then I would come into my Google Classroom and I would create an assignment. I would add it, and then I would add it as a link. And so here you can see I've actually added the Jamboard that we did today as a link in here. And then when you add that, you can make it to where the students can only view it. You can also make it where all the students can edit that same file, or you can make it where each student has their own copy. So if you're doing this so that they can do that individual brainstorming, there you go. You've got your copy for each student to be able to do that. But if you want them to be working collaboratively, here you go, you've got that as well. And if you were wanting to do this with different groups of students, I would just create separate assignments that were assigned to that group of students and let them within that group everybody be able to edit that file to where they're able to work in smaller groups on that file. Any questions about that?
That would be great in STEM where we could assign them Jamboards to work in a group. It's awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, for the process.
Mhm.
That would be great.
All right, are any of you using Canvas?
Whoops.
I am.
Okay, all right. So in the next slide, and I don't think we're going to play it just because of time, but you can certainly watch this video. So there's two ways that you can use this in Canvas. The way that the video walks you through is you would create an assignment for the Jamboard, and you would choose a submission type, and you would choose Google Cloud Assignment. That adds the Jamboard into that assignment. It is an individual Jamboard. So if you want to use this for each student to brainstorm on, or however you want to use it, once they turn it in, it goes into SpeedGrader for you to grade. The other way that you can share is the same way that Janet was talking about, where you go to that share button, you grab the link, anyone with the link can edit, and you post that link into Canvas. And that would be for a collaborative Jamboard. So those are the two ways that you can insert Jamboard into Canvas.
Kendra, how long is your video?
It's 4.5 minutes.
Do you want us to go ahead and watch it so that if anybody has a question about it, that we can go over that? Because
Okay.
we've got about 10 minutes left and we only have a couple of more things to talk about.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to go ahead?
Good?
Yes.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to stop sharing and share again so that I can click share computer sound.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's try it.
Hey guys, I'm going to show you how that
Everybody
you
here?
can incorporate Jamboard
Yep.
into your Canvas course. So to get started, you can go to your Canvas and click on Assignments. And then we're going to create a new assignment. Give your assignment a name. And you can put in some details here. I'm going to scroll down to submission type, and I'm going to choose external tool, and then I'm going to click find, and then I'm going to scroll down to Google Docs Cloud Assignment. So this is one way that you can create a copy of a Jamboard for your students. So if you have a specific template, or if you have certain things that you want them to include in their jam, then you can certainly create it as a copy. So I'm going to choose Google Docs Cloud Assignment, and it should open up your Google Drive. And then I'm going to search for my jam that I want to have it make a copy. So when I find it, I'm going to click on it and then click Submit. And I'm going to click Select. And for this, you'll want to load this tool in a new tab because the Jamboard does not automatically load. There's a workaround for this, and I will show you what that looks like. So go ahead and set up the rest of your settings. Give it a due date. And then we're going to save and publish it. So I'm logging in as a demo student. So I'm going into my course. I click on my to-do assignment, which was the Jamboard assignment. And now it's going to ask me to load the Jamboard in a new window. So when I click on that, so it will almost load the jam, but it really doesn't. So in order to allow students to edit their jam, they're going to click on the hyperlink here. And that gives them access to the copy of the jam that they can edit. So this is their jam. So in order for them to submit it to you, they can either share it with you, or an easier way, this will give you access to this in Canvas, the speed grader, is to just click Submit. And what that does, that will turn this into a PDF, shows it's been submitted. So let's go back to our teacher version, or teacher sign in. I'm going to click speed grader. And then here is my students, or demo students jam that they've submitted. You can see that it's been turned into a PDF. And then this allows me to provide the feedback for the students within the Canvas interface. So that is how that you can include a Jamboard in your Canvas assignment and create a copy for your students to allow them to submit their jam to you. So that's just one way that you can incorporate Jamboard into Canvas. In a future video, I will show you a couple of other ways that.
Kendra,
Yes.
when he went into the jam and then he went back to the title of it and clicked submit, was that as easy as clicking on the back button on his browser? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But I tried this way, and then I had a teacher try it with her middle school students, and it works.
Oh, good. Oh, good, good. Okay, wonderful.
All right.
Any other?
I hope that was helpful. Maybe Loretta, I think you're the only one using Canvas.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, cool. Adam is actually a DLF right down the road from us. I think he's in Madison County, maybe. So, all right. So if you'll go to the next slide, Janet, we have some resources here for you. So I gave you those templates earlier, but there are several other templates that you could use as well. Because if you're like me, I like templates. It makes things a little bit easier, and someone else has created it and I don't have to create it. So Matt Miller ditched that textbook that was our BCS STEAM speaker. He has a list of 10 different templates that you can use inside Jamboard. And all you do on his side is you just click them and they automatically make a copy into your Google Drive. Okay. The next one is Tech Fairies, and they have more specific content related templates that you can use in Jamboard. So they have ESL, they have social emotional learning. I think they've got some math ones in there as well. So make sure that you check those out. And then the last one is a gold mine from Google Teacher Center of Jamboard content lessons. So they've got science, social studies, math, ELA, you name it, and they all incorporate Jamboard. So these are some great resources that will move you a little further with using Jamboard in your class that we thought might be helpful for you all as you plan.
All right, so our 30 minutes is almost, I think we have about 3 more minutes. We are glad that you all are here today. Do we have any questions or anything that we need to try to go over before you leave us today? Feel free to chime in or pop it in the chat if you have something that we can try to help troubleshoot, or if you've come up with an idea as we've been going through this, we would love for you to share your idea with us as well.
Yeah, the templates are going to be great, I think.
Yes, I'm all about not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm going to add the My Learning Plan link in the chat for you, and we will stay on here for a few minutes if there's questions. But we really appreciate you guys being here today, and we thank you for all of your hard work, because we know how hard you guys are working.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this makes things a little bit easier for you. So we'd love to hear from you if you use Jamboard in the future and you do a great lesson with it. Share it with us. We would love to see what you do from this professional development.
Yes, and thanks for the ideas that you two shared earlier in the PD as well. Those are great ideas. All right, well, we will also put the bit.ly in the chat again so that you'll have that.